I'm Sophie. I'm the founder of Pollen Careers. We are an early careers community and ethical hiring solution for startups and SMEs. I did it a couple of years ago, the Alternative Funding School. I guess so at that point in time, I sort of had, it was very, very early stages. I had been working full time on the business by myself for about 4 or 5 months at the time that I considered signing up. And exactly as you said, Sarah, it was people in your ear like, oh, this is a great idea. Like, this is something that's really scalable. You should go and raise. So I therefore like listened to this and had it in my head. This is what I was going to do. But then I started following you, Esme, and was sort of like, this feels more like my territory. I'm also not from a finance background. My background is in media, but I knew that the business would be a business that is for good. And we exist to help people. So there was something quite jarring about going out, pitching to the patriarchy about making loads of money when, like, yes, I want to be a profitable business, but that's not my motivation for setting up the company. And I wouldn't do it at any cost, which legally you are expected to if you receive like VC investment. Like that is your duty, is to make them more money. And over the course of the last couple of years, I've turned down revenue opportunities because it's not mission aligned, or it misaligns with, like, that it doesn't work with our product. And I guess what was appealing about the course was, it's like, okay, this feels like my jam. This feels like a space I want to be in, but I don't know much about anything to do with raising capital. And I see what's going on over here, and this appeals to me, so I want to learn more. And I guess the things that I got out, and like you, Sarah, it was the biggest investment I've made. I wasn't making any money, so I was just like, okay, but I know I need to invest in myself and my knowledge. So that was sort of the main motivator. And what I got out of it was, firstly, the cohort, like the peer-to-peer learning was amazing, because I met some people who affirmed my concerns about just going out and raising from anyone. And I heard some really brutal stories of people, like somebody I met was saying she was trying to get an investor out because of the mission drift that she was experiencing, and was just like, I'm trying to get this person out because he's toxic to my business, and I'm going into a space that I don't want. That's not why I set up this business. There was purpose and meaning behind what I'm doing. So like hearing about that experience, also of people whose businesses have failed and they've had to start all over again because having the bad investors involved was amazing learning curve. And you're like, okay, it's really important to get this right, because it could be at the detriment to the business. So hearing all about that was really interesting. I would also say, like, some of the guests that you had on were incredibly empowering. And that's not to be underestimated, because it's a brutal world out there, especially as a woman. And you hear of all these stories, like it's not untrue, the stories that people share about being discriminated against in this world. So the conclusion that I came to at the end of the course was like, actually, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm not going to raise. I'm going to try and get traction. I'm going to just stick at it for the next sort of 6 to 12 months and then see where I'm at. And then after that 12-month period, I then felt very, very empowered to do it on my terms, because I was informed, I felt knowledgeable, and I'd adopted a different mindset about raising versus previous to the course.
Yeah, oh gosh.
And then my experience of raising was actually incredibly positive, because like I was happy to turn down investors that I didn't feel like were a good fit.
Yeah, exactly. And you ended up raising for somebody that did actually speak, one of the funders that spoke on the Alt Funding School.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Which is wonderful. So it's also, we bring in those type of funders that one day actually might be an opportunity to get funding from them, because we're very, very specific around who we bring into the space, so that it feels like you get examples of who these funders look like and you can follow them and build relationships with them as well.